Warning: Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
What it do, family and friends? Welcome back to the Church of Black Power. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please hit that link in the description. Go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. And with that being said, family, earlier this week, Donald Trump was inaugurated as the 47th president of these United States. And there's a lot about the inauguration that we'll talk about at a later date, later time. I'm working on something for some of the things that we've seen. But I want to fast forward to after his inauguration. There is one piece that I'll be coming back to within the inauguration, but I want to fast forward. Because Trump wasted absolutely no time in going to work on some of the things that he was saying on his campaign trail. And what I noticed is that even though there are some things that he did that I truly don't agree with, a lot of the stuff that he ran on, he just implemented within the first day of being the 47th president of the United States of America. And I want to highlight these things because I want all the Democratic shills and all the people who are Biden apologists and all the people that was running around talking about there was a bill to shut down the border and dip and Trump wanted to run on it. He wanted to run on the problem. Joe Biden could have done the same thing that Trump did in his day one. The same things that Joe Biden was saying he could not do at the border. Congress need to pass a bill for the border and all this other stuff Trump was able to do in his very first day as the 47th president of the United States. Trump designated cartels and other organizations as foreign terrorist organizations, and especially designated global terrorist. And that's going at your MS-13s and your Tres del Aguas and all of that. So that's a damn good thing. Let's see what he did here. Trump administration shut down White House Spanish language page and social media. Shout out to Arthur Watkins Jr. He out here doing the Lord's work. He says he's telling them to learn English like most Americans. Isn't that like what we've been like really confused about out here? Like they've used that a lot, where they tell us we gotta learn a different language in order to get jobs in a country that we built. So I like the fact that Trump said, you know what? No. You're gonna learn the language if you want to be over here. Because if I wanted to move to any other country to get a job or anything like that, I would have to learn how to speak that language, whatever the native language is. You can't just move into a country and speak English when the country is speaking all Spanish? Well, you can, but you'll have a hard time getting around and basically figuring out what's what. So I like that he did this, and it makes a lot of sense. Now he also needs to go after those companies who tell Black Americans or any American that if they don't speak Spanish fluently, that they can't hire them. Or just in general, that they can't hire them. So no, it shouldn't just stop at this point with the social media and the language page. No. Make sure you're going after all of those companies that's also talking about they can't hire people because they don't speak Spanish or speak Spanish fluently. Now, Borders Are Tom, Mr. Homan, he was out there making sure people understood that, hey, look, deportations are happening. We said they were going to be happening, and they're happening. So check this out, family.
Today, roundups of criminal illegal aliens in the process of deporting them would begin. That seems to have been put on hold for a little while. When can we expect that to happen? Where will it begin?
No, it started.
It has started.
ICE teams are out there as of today. We gave them the direction to prioritize public safety threats that we're looking for. So we've been working up the target list. There was some discussion about Chicago because the specific operational plan was released. So we had to look at and reevaluate, does this raise officer safety concerns? And it does. Mm-hmm. But we've addressed that, and teams are out there effective today.
Based on your initial schedule.
Family, and Tom was not joking by any means. Let me show you this. So this came out. Hold on, family. So this came out showing some of the backlash, or the reactions, really not backlash, the reactions of some of the people at the border once the app, the CB1 or whatever the name of the app was, once that app was shut down, people was at the border losing their shit. Let me show you. The CBP1, excuse me. Ay, Dios mío. Why? Why? Ay, Dios. Family, when I first seen this video, because you know I'm a man with a heart, I start kind of feeling bad for these people. I did. I started feeling it right at the bottom of my heart. And then my brain kicked into effect. He said, hey, don't you remember when this happened?
You working. No more money for you. Bye-bye. You working. No more money for you. Bye-bye. Go back across the No more money for you. It's lazy. You lazy. No more money for you. Take your ass. You working. No more money for you. 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 Bye bye, bye bye, bye bye.
Go back, cross the
No more money for you. No more money for you. It's lazy, you lazy. You lazy. No more money for you.
Take your podcast.
Yeah, family. So once I remembered that, I was like, no. I had to slap myself a couple times. Because here's the thing. That's exactly some of the and I've discussed this several times. They put out this type of content in order to tug on your heartstrings, because they know that we are one of the most inclusive people on the planet. We welcome people, we love on people, we support people. They don't do none of that for us, but yet that's what we do for everyone who comes into these Americas and they come into our neighborhoods. We've always did that. And now that we're saying, they're going to intensify the amount of content that they put out to try to tug on those heartstrings. And, you know, you got to remind yourself that they wasn't acting humble while they was here. They were acting entitled. They wasn't being respectful to us while they was here. They were being disrespectful. They were being criminals. They were doing all kinds of things in order to kind of nana boo boo towards us, because they were getting all of these resources that the government wasn't giving to us. Knowingly giving these resources to these people, and these people are knowingly taking them, knowing that they shouldn't be getting any type of resources because they're not citizens of this country. And then they would turn around and brag about it. Y'all remember the dude that was in the country illegally, who was going around telling people to break into people's houses, and as long as you occupy the house, then they can't put you out. And he was going around flossing all the money he was getting from the government. He was trying to get more people to storm America and squat in people's houses. And then he got deported. And he was crying all over the internet, talking about, please, somebody help me. They're coming after me. You see, everybody who was involved and who stays involved, who stayed involved, who was talking that nonsense, have gotten a wake-up call. And you have the three type of tethers. You have the tether who's living in denial, like this guy here. And shout out to the Black Authority, aka the foundational Black Authority, because he posted this video. Well, shout out to Tariq, he posted the video, but the Black Authority commented and he says, crazy work yelling, "I'm not going back to Haiti," while sitting in the back of a deportation van going to Haiti. Denial isn't just a river in Egypt. So while we were sitting here telling all these people, all these folks, that, hey, check this out, man. Y'all better get ready because the Iceman is coming. And all the people that was like, well, they're coming for you next and all that other stuff. That's because they fear something like this happening to them. But a lot of these people who are in denial was in denial before the election. When we was telling people that we ain't rocking with Kamala, we ain't rocking with Kamala at all. She's a tether just like your tethers. What makes y'all think that she's gonna, oh, nigga, you don't know nothing. Kamala's gonna win. Kamala's gonna win. And then she lost. And now you have videos with people still in denial about that loss.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti.
ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction.
Yo, ¿cómo se llama?
And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking. Officers also arrested this Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. ICE says he was released from local custody just the day before. Their detainer request was ignored because of sanctuary policies. And in a sign of shifting priorities with the new Trump administration, this man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also arrested after ICE determined he's also in the U.S. illegally. This is what ICE calls collateral.
So you guys got your main target just now, but you got somebody else. What just happened?
So our main target was released by a sanctuary jurisdiction, not honoring a detainer. That person was released back into the community, and when we went to go find him, he's with somebody else who was previously removed from the United States. So he's going to go today too.
And that is exactly what Border Czar Tom Homan has warned would happen.
Get 1, get 2, get 3, get 4. If y'all in the house when the Iceman at the door, you already know what's happening. You already know. But, so that's the first kind of tether. The second kind of tether is the tether that believes that it's going to happen and refuse to go back by any means. So they're fleeing one location to another location, or when they see the Iceman coming, they're running over white folk. White folk are getting ran over.
Afterwards, we got trampled. I mean, literally trampled. Afterwards, the police told me that 3 people stepped on me.
Rosalind Landsman, a mother of 2 and grandmother from Roslyn Heights, was with her husband Marty last Wednesday celebrating her 75th birthday.
The police told me that 3 people stepped on me. Afterwards, the police told me that 3 people stepped on me.
Rosalind Landsman, a mother of 2 and grandmother from Roslyn Heights, was with her husband Marty last Wednesday celebrating her 75th birthday. The married couple of 45 years was holding hands while walking on Canal Street.
That's really the last thing I remember.
Surveillance video captured her 79-year-old husband getting knocked to the ground before helplessly crawling to reach her.
He thought I was dead.
The retired New York City speech and language teacher was knocked unconscious, suffering from a broken clavicle and ribs, one of them puncturing her lung. The NYPD was doing a raid on illegal vendors who frequently set up shop to sell knockoff merchandise on the popular strip near Lafayette. It's what sparked the suspects to run.
I bet that they don't even know what they did.
They're very active people, and this will change the way they do everything.
I guarantee you they don't care what they did at all. All they cared about was getting away. Run, 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 run. Joppa. Fleeing. And and I'm gonna be honest with you, this was a worse stampede than Simba and Mufasa and the Lion King. She got trampled by all these dudes. Let's hold on. Let's just replay that. She got trampled. This is her on the ground right there. Hold on. Boom. Watch. Bam. Knocked over. Bam. Fell on. This is just crazy. This is just crazy. It's insane. But family, that's the second kind of tether. The third kind of tether is a tether that knows what's going on, they believe what's going on, and they're fearful of what's going on, and so they're begging now. They're begging. Let's go to it. Let's get here.
ICE is out here raiding people's apartments. I was driving to the office this morning. I saw the ICE truck. And I also saw a lot of police officers on the motorcycles. So you guys, please stay indoor and be silent. Even if they knock on your door, do not say a word. Like, just stay indoor at this point. Do not come out. Because they are literally targeting Hispanics. Because all the cars that got pulled over this morning, I believe over 30 cars got pulled over this morning. And they were all Hispanics. So just be mindful and beware of your surrounding at this moment, because they are out here looking for you guys. Like, this is insane. I'm still shaking because it was just like cars was just passing by. And I'm like, wait, am I getting pulled over? I'm not driving fast. ICE is out.
Why you think that she was shaking, family, as they passed her up? It wasn't because of the fact that she thought that she was being pulled over by the police, because she was calm when she said, I'm not driving fast. No. Once she realized it was ICE and saw what was going on, that sent her into a whole frenzy, to where she got on a video and start begging. Start warning these people. Start begging them to stay in the house. Don't make a sound if they come to your door. And I'm going to throw in a fourth type of tether. Not really, but it's, I guess they still can be considered tethers, because they're tethering onto, or trying to tether onto our history and our people in order to protect themselves. So I guess this would be considered the fourth type of tether. The fourth type of tether is someone who isn't even black, who's a part of the Hispanic community, and they try to convince you that people in the black community are fighting for them like a dog whistle, so that other people around them will say things like, well, if, these teachers are willing to fight for, Hispanic students, I should be able to fight for Hispanic people. Or if this person is willing to fight for Hispanic people to stay in America, I should be able to fight for Hispanic people to stay in America. And I call cap on all that. I call cap on all of that. But that's the fourth tether for you. Let's get her in. Oh, wait. That's not the one I wanted there, buddy. That one. And then we're going to go to this one.
Gosh, I really don't even know how to say this, because no words can really express the appreciation I have for the Black community right now. Thank you so much.
Now, family, remember, this is at a time where these people are now seeing what we've been telling them when we said, if we don't stand for you, if we don't stand for you, good luck with whatever you're trying to fight for here. So while they were all sitting there acting as if we had no say so, we didn't have any type of economic power, no type of political power, no type of power for them to be here or not, and all this other nonsense, now these people are groveling, trying to convince you that other black people are fighting for them, so that more black people will come along and do the same. And like I said, I call cap. I don't believe anyone is doing what this woman is about to tell you that they're doing.
From the bottom of my heart, and I know I'm speaking on behalf of many Mexicans right now.
She says she's speaking on behalf of many Mexicans, family. Many Mexicans. And we've been seeing many Mexicans fighting against our interest. While we sat here and tried to do this whole coalition nonsense, Even though most of us was telling the rest of you there was no coalition, we have no friends, we need to concentrate on our economic interest, y'all still tried to do the coalition. Not y'all who's listening to me, but the y'all who didn't want to listen to us in the black grassroots. Y'all didn't want to listen. Now, after this last election, many of us say, you know what? They were right. The black grassroots have been right this whole time. They've been calling everything word for word, list by list, down the whole line book. While the mainstream media has been incorrect time after time after time, the new black media has been calling their shots, and each shot has been going in. Swish, swish, swish. While the dead black media has been sitting there calling people a bunch of fools and ignoramuses and things like that. And they've been wrong. So now those people who used to didn't believe us started believing us and decided to vote for the couch like most of us did. And now these people are seeing the power we actually have and the power that they don't. Let's continue.
You guys, if you guys don't know, they're coming into our schools and they're taking our children. That way, when the parents come up to pick up the kids, they deport them.
That's a very smart type of sting. See, there's a difference between entrapment, right? When officers put on this type of sting operation and they try to get different citizens, tell them they want a boat, so they get there to get the boat, then they get arrested. Well, a lot of those I would have issues with because of the fact that it's entrapment. Basically, you're setting up a situation in order to catch someone, or you're setting up a crime in order to catch someone in a crime, right? In this situation, I believe that it is A-okay, because none of these people are citizens of the United States in the first place, so the Constitution does not apply to them. And we're going to get more into that once we get a little bit deeper into this video. Let's continue.
The black community, guys. Black women teachers.
Family, tell me she didn't put on her best Oscar tear face. She's trying to literally put on her best white woman tears in order to convince us that she's so grateful and they're so grateful, but they wasn't grateful. They wasn't working with us. They wasn't doing anything to show us that we're appreciated at all before this election, right? They were fighting against our interest. And they continue to fight against our interest. But let's continue.
That's all I've seen so far. Black women teachers. I'm sure there's some black male teachers, but black women teachers are saying.
Notice how she's trying to push this gender divide. But black women teachers, I'm sure there's some black men teachers, but black women teachers. Who do you think she's sending a dog whistle to? Because historically, these groups have been able to use black women against black men and shut down progress within our communities. The feminists did it, and the Hispanics have done it. Every single time the Democrat wants the black woman to support another group of people, they claim that we have a invisible coalition with those people. when it's never reciprocated. It's always one-sided. And black women become the mules. Shout out to all the black women who said, we're not your mules. And this time around, we're going to prove that we are not your mules. Black men and black women stand united. And if you're not going to fix our community, we're not going to fix anybody else's.
They're willing to fight for our kids. I don't think you understand what that means. I don't think you understand what level of sacrifice that is. We all know through history the police brutality that the black community has gone through. They're basically saying they're willing to die for our kids.
You see exactly what she just did, family? She took our history and tried to impose it onto their children, saying that we should be willing, because these imaginary black teachers that I do not believe exist are saying they're willing to protect their children. She's saying that we should be willing, or they are willing to throw down, to basically put their lives on the line, throw down their lives for the lives of some people who literally come to the country to disrespect us. All these folks who say we don't deserve reparations, we don't need an anti-black hate crime bill and all this other stuff. She just literally said out her own mouth that they know the history of black Americans here. But yet they come here and they deliberately disrespect us, denigrate us in every sense of the word. Because they know, as Torian says, their way to the top is denigrating black Americans. Because they're grifters too. Every grift foundation is the denigration of black Americans. Shout out to Torian again. Torian Reigns Reloaded. If you ain't subscribed, go subscribe. But yet, they know these things, and they don't come over here hat in hand. They don't come over here humble, trying to be around the ones who've been fighting white supremacy the whole time. No. Absolutely not, they do not. But you know what they do? They come over here arrogant. They come over here disrespectful. No more money for you. You lazy. Because their success is built off the foundation of the degradation of black Americans. Their success is built off of the foundation of the discrimination of black Americans. Their success is built off the foundation of the economic deprivation of black Americans. So all this right here, I ain't buying it.
History, the police brutality that the black community has gone through, they're basically saying they're willing to die for our kids. We all know what happens and the risk that they are taking for being a Black victim in that kind of scenario. That's a whole other level of love and sacrifice, and thank you so much. And us as Mexicans, we need to like completely have their backs.
Family, first and foremost, how many times have you heard these kind of people talk about stop playing the victim, stop playing the victim? And this woman just literally said out her own damn mouth that we're the victims in these situations. It's funny how they see the plight of Black America once they start going through the shit that we've been trying to warn them about, the shit that we've been trying to protect them from, and the shit that we stepped back from and said, okay, hold your own butter biscuits. When we're speaking about these things, and they're like, oh, well, you guys are too concentrated on race. You guys just, you want to hold on. It happened so long ago. Yeah, I've heard that a lot from her community too. So yeah, let's continue.
We need to completely be willing to die for their children too, and put our lives on the line. Thank you so much. Sincerely, sincerely from the bottom of my heart.
Family, who believes any of this? From the crying, the fake cries that didn't have no real tears, the red nose that looked like she's been sniffing coke all night. She was pushing for tears like Kyle Rittenhouse. Let's move that back.
Have their backs. We need to completely be willing to die for their children too, and put our lives on the line. Thank you so much. Sincerely, sincerely from the bottom of my heart. That is just like so beautiful, and I know you're gonna go to heaven for that. I know that there's a beautiful place in heaven for you for that. Sincerely, like, for willing to do that for us. Sincerely, sincerely.
Notice what she just did, family. She did some of the most white supremacist stuff I've seen in a while. She used religion on you. And not just any kind of religion, life after death religion. You should be willing to die for her children. And she just knows that there's something better for you after this life in heaven. Damn fighting for what we are owed here. Get what's owed to you in heaven. The disrespect and the nonsense is real. So that's the fourth tether. The tether of full blood. And now we can move on to this dude in the shiesty. Out here in New York. He's so afraid that he's doing interviews. He's so afraid that he's doing interviews. He's so afraid that he's doing interviews. I don't give a damn if you gave me a mask and a shice, whatever. Shiesty, whatever you want to call it. But I'll be damned if I felt fear of something and I'll stick around and talk about it because you gave me a mask. As if I can't be followed. As if they won't, track me. If I was really fearful of something, I'd be gone. Like a lot of the immigrants who self-deported. Let me rephrase that. Like a lot of the invaders who self-deported. I had a video set up for that too. I don't know what happened to it, but it's not here. But I'm sure many of you have seen those videos of people self-deporting like 3 days before Trump got inaugurated. But let's get into this interview from this terrified invader.
This man from Venezuela didn't want to show his face, but he opened up about how he and other migrants are feeling about the threat of mass deportations under the new Trump administration. We have the worry, what will happen with us? Will they deport us? Will they give us asylum or not? Will they not help with the work permit? He's one of many living in a New York City migrant shelter, one of the many who crossed the border and came to New York City during a surge local officials called the migrant crisis. This man from Venezuela didn't want to show his...
No, family, it wasn't the migrant crisis. It was the migrant invasion. It was the migrant invasion. Matter of fact, like I told Alpha, shout out to brother Black Alpha, shout out to brother Sage. Like I told them while it was Black Alpha's space, but I was in the space with him. And I said, I believe that we should just stop calling them migrants because immigrating and invading are two different things. So let's go back to what they were originally called when I was growing up. Illegal aliens. Now, we can call them illegal ETs, IETs, whatever you want to, but they're not migrants. Because people who migrate to the country, they usually migrate legally. And plus, people who are from the country migrate to other parts of the country. Now, it doesn't make us immigrants because we built the country, but that's what actual migration is. Migration can be defined in several ways. So I like to go back to calling them what they're supposed to be called, or we can call them IETs, illegal extraterrestrials, or we can just call them illegal aliens, IA. Doesn't matter. But I believe we need to stop calling these people migrants. Now, I want to move on to the people who I like to call the You're Next people. The You're Next people have been running a campaign of stupidity. Especially Roland Martin and his homeboys. They're going around trying to convince people that this birthright citizen situation, it's going to touch other black folk. Now, this is one of the things that they've been doing consistently for the past few weeks, but I guess Roland felt like he was going to pick up on it and use the same talking point and emphasize a situation that had nothing to do with us at all. So let's get into it, family.
Next order relates this next order relates to the definition of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment of the United States.
Yeah, that's a good one. Birthright. That's a big one.
What about that one in the course? That one is likely to be challenged.
Could be.
My bad, family. We ain't got to the Roland Martin part yet, but we're going to get there. We're getting there. I wanted to show Trump signing the so-called end of birthright citizenship because a lot of people who don't understand will probably think that he's ended the 14th Amendment and he doesn't have the power to end the 14th Amendment. it would have to be a lot of headaches in order to end the 14th Amendment, just so you know, because it is ingrained within the Constitution. But a lot of people will have you believe that that's what he did. But I'm going to prove that that's not what he did in a bit. Let's go.
This next order relates to the definition of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment of the United States.
Yeah, that's a good one. Birthright. That's a big one.
What about that one in the course? That one is likely to be challenged.
Could be. We think we have good grounds, but you could be right. I mean, you'll find out. It's ridiculous. We're the only country in the world that does this with birthright, as you know. And it's just absolutely ridiculous, but we'll see. We have very good grounds.
Sir,
people have wanted to do this for decades.
Sir, this is a proclamation declaring a national emergency.
And you have people like Luke out here, Tether Luke, Lizard Luke, nephew under nephew Luke, rat under ant root Luke, excuse me. So he comes out, Trump, he just revoked the 1965 Equal Opportunities Act. People, what the F is the 1965 Equals Opportunity Employment Act? What is it? There is no 1965 Equal Opportunities Employment Act. There is none. But yet this mug think he ate. He over here talking about, well, with our goddamn legend, our icon Michael Jackson sitting there eating popcorn that's reserved for us to use when things happen that we said was gonna happen. That's not yo people. Luke, why didn't you use somebody from your homeland? If you're gonna be wrong, you might as well have been double wrong. Well, I guess you are double wrong because you're using one of our icons and you can't pull out your own. All right, let's move on to more of your next people.
By now, you know that Donald Trump has revoked an equal opportunity executive order which banned discrimination in federal contracting. If you're wondering why Donald Trump would roll back a civil rights era action that was once opposed by segregationists, you weren't paying attention. Because it was all right here in Project 2025. Do you guys remember how before the election, Democrats kept warning you about this 900-page document that was basically the framework for a second Trump administration? It was...
Stop. See, I was going to let it play. Oh my God, I was gonna let it play. I'm over here rubbing my forehead right now. Family, you see how he tried to tie Project 2025 into this? The act, this dude talking about it was fought against by civil rights legends. What are you talking about? The act does not exist, so how did civil rights legends fight for it? See, this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to convince you we've been fighting for them the whole time. No, not at all. Even if you take it back to the civil rights era, civil rights and the policies of civil rights were put into place specifically for foundational Black Americans. It wasn't put in place for Juan. It wasn't put in place for Pedro. And specifically what I'm speaking about within the civil rights is a birthright citizenship. None of these, birthright citizenship was not put into the Constitution for anyone outside of Black Americans. People who have a distinct lineage that ties back to the slaves in America. North America, to be more specific. And Canada isn't even involved. In these United States of America, if you were a descendant of a slave, you're automatically a citizen. That's what birthright citizenship is, and that's what it was. But this dude, Jose, is trying to convince you and me, us and we, that removing birthright citizenship and the so-called quote-unquote Equal Employment Opportunities Act was a part of Project 2025, when the Equal Employment Opportunities Act does not exist. Let's continue.
Was never a secret. It was all in here. The information was always there in black and white. Go to page 584. Let's go up here, and it says rescind Executive Order 11246. What is Executive Order 11246? It's the Equal Employment Opportunity Executive Order. And it says the president should eliminate OFCCP. OFCCP, I have to read my notes, is the Office of Federal Contract Compliance Programs. That's what it stands for. They're basically an agency under the U.S. Department of Labor that would enforce this executive order. And look, this is one section of one page of a 900-page document. When Donald Trump was signing that flurry of executive orders when he was sworn in, nearly 2/3 of those executive orders were drawn from Project 2025. If you're one of these people that are pissed off and can't believe it, and
that man just said something that can't be proved. It can be proved, but he can't prove it. He cannot prove it because Project 2025, a lot of the things that was in there, some things may have been adapted, but nothing that I saw that Trump signed was word from word Project 2025. And let's say that it was. Let's say that he adapted it from Project 2025. It still doesn't affect citizens like foundational Black Americans, aka American freedmen. Foundational Black Americans are not the same as everyone else in this country. That's the difference. And even if they tried to affect us with this situation, that's why we're advocating for us specifically. So that nobody else, none of you guys, none of these other folks can try to shoehorn their way into a situation to where now it becomes a everybody can get everything from us situation when they didn't deal with any of the things that we did.
are ranting and raving but didn't vote for Kamala Harris, you only have yourself to blame.
Yeah, all these people coming out, the you should have voted for Kamala people, the your next people. Let's move on to the next. So how do all of you women, blacks, non-Christians, and others who voted for Trump feel today? Welcome to the United States of white Christian America. Trump just overturned the Equal Employment Opportunity Act of 1965 that LBJ signed. And like I said, there is no such act. There is no such act. So they're trying to troll, but they're trolling on a lie. And if you're trolling on a lie, that's how you know you've already lost. Let's move on, family. Trump revokes the Equal Employment Opportunity Act of 1965, 160 years of struggle and progress gone. Who in the hell is this person? Matter of fact, let's click this. Oh, the red, the black, and the green. Oh, okay. If you're black with the U.S. flag emoji in your name and pushing FBA ADOS, you are being used by the right-wing think tank, PFIR, and YouTubers to push propaganda. So, standing on Lynia's business, fighting for the interest of your own people, making sure that no one is able to come and use your plight within America to further their people in America, that makes you a right-wing puppet. That makes you a right-wing propaganda pusher. These are the people that's pushing this. He don't even know the amount of years of the struggle. This man said 160 years. A struggle in progress. What progress? We're still fighting the same fight from 60 years ago. The exact same fight of 60 years ago. But yet this person who believes that we're pushing right-wing propaganda while saying we're not voting for anyone who is not pushing reparations and a transformative black agenda in an anti-black hate crime bill. Oh, we're pushing right wing. I've never heard a right. Y'all heard anybody on the right speak about this? Anybody on the right that supports reparation and a transformative black agenda? Anybody on the right who supports the anti-black hate crime bill? Anybody on the right been speaking like the way we speak in the new black media? I have not heard it. If you heard it, please, someone come to the front of the class. Let me know. Because I ain't heard a damn thing. But he thinks, 160 years of struggle and progress gone. These are the people that's pushing it, family. Let's move forward. Shout out to our brother, Greg Marcel Dixon. Because our brother, he had to call these folks out. He had to let people know that it's nonsense. Because it is. This headline is completely misleading. Trump repealed the quota for federal contracts to go to minorities. None of these affirmative action or DEI policies and programs were helping Black American freedmen in the first place. The people they were meant to help, whose lineage, after suffering centuries of violent, government-sanctioned discrimination, they have primarily benefited white women and immigrants. good riddance. And he was responding to another one of those "you're next" type puppets. And then they had to come back with the reader's edit context that says there is no such thing as the Equal Employment Opportunity Act of 1965. The Civil Rights Act was signed in 1960. What? Okay. An act is a law passed by Congress, and it cannot be repealed by any president. What the poster may be describing is Executive Order 11246, signed by Lyndon B. Johnson. That's it. And as our brother Marcel said with all the passion in his chest, good riddance. Now, family, remember, these folks are here to pull on your heartstrings, to make you think what's going to happen to them can happen to you. And it just can't. Because you're a citizen. You are an architect. You are the foundation. But they want people to get riled up because they want people who are the foundation to jump on board all these other states trying to stop Trump from implementing the birthright citizenship order. Remember when I said yesterday it's going to be very, very messy the first week. First full day, Trump cancels birthright citizenship. It's not even COB and 18 states sue to stop Trump's birthright citizenship order. Like I said, most likely, with the definitions being given, yeah, it will go through, because here's the thing. One can argue that none of these people, since they're not citizens, none of these people can gain any of the amenities that's initiated by the Constitution. If the Constitution is for citizens, then how can a non-citizen come into America and now expect the amenities of the Constitution? That doesn't make sense. In the same way that the 14th Amendment don't make sense, because you shouldn't come into a country illegally and expect the 14th Amendment to apply to you and you are not a citizen of the Constitution. Let me say that again. I just want to say it again for the people in the back. If you are not a citizen of America, and the Constitution of America is there to protect and provide for the citizens of the United States of America, what makes anyone believe that they could come to America as an illegal alien and now gain the rights of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution when the Constitution don't apply to them? Because you're not a citizen of America. But you're using something in the Constitution to make you a citizen when that wasn't put there for you in the first place to become a citizen. But they want us to run out and, get behind them on that nonsense. Let's continue, family. Let's continue. You got this guy running around here, and a lot of you know this dude, Tizzy ENT or whatever the hell. This guy is a hardcore Democratic shill. Never seen him do anything else but shill. So we're going to let him speak about this birthright. Excuse me, family. I just ate before I came on here, so a lot of the burping is coming up right now. So please excuse me, family. But we're going to listen to him speak about the end of birthright citizenship. And notice how he's trying to fearmonger. He can't fearmonger black people because, as a white man, he ain't going to try and do that because he knows that he would get his ass clapped. Pause 7 ways from Sunday, because his whole platform is about catering, or not even catering, but basically making black folk think that he's there for them. So we're going to get into what he had to say, but I want you to notice how he's now targeting the Latinos who voted for Donald Trump. He's targeting the Latinos who voted for Donald Trump. Not black Americans. See, the Democrats send out black Democrat shills to target black grassroots people. But when it's anybody outside of the black grassroots, they've just learned that you can't just send anybody. You got to send people who are respected within those communities. So with Latinos, who do the Latinos respect more than other Latinos, and above them, white folk? When you're looking at people like ramen noodle, who do Indians respect more than other Indians, and above them, white folk? When you're looking at anybody, whether Asian, Puerto Rican, they're not going to respect anyone but themselves, and over themselves, they respect the white folk. But black Americans, we don't respect the white folk. We don't respect a white dude coming out, no matter how good he's been talking, no matter how much he seems like an ally. We call out all that bull stuff when it comes to our table. Now tell me I'm lying. We're the only people across the world, the only people and the only lineage across the world that will call out white folk as it stands. I don't care what you thought you did for us. You got us messed up. Shout out to Jane Elliott. Shout out to Tim Wise, both who had to learn no matter how good or pleasant your words were to the ear. Soon as you said some nonsense, guess what? You got your wake-up call. So they send him out not to come at us, because they know that this dude right here, no matter what this dude says or what he said in the past, all that would do is put a target on his forehead, and black Americans would literally be the best archers. We'd be Hawkeye at that point in time. Look at what's been going on with Joe Biden and Joey Crackhead. fat gel. But that's another broadcast for another day. I got something coming up on that. Yeah, but I digress. Let's get back to this dude who could not come at us because they knew how we would respond.
While this video is for anyone, I want this to reach Latinos living in America, especially ones who voted for or support Donald Trump, especially my Miami Cubans. Yesterday,
notice how he said, while this post is for everyone, and this is the only time I'm interrupted. He says, while this post is for everyone, I want to speak specifically to my Latino brothers and sisters. So basically what he was saying is this for you Negroes too. But I'm not going to call y'all. I want to call out the Latinos today. Because I don't want to get attacked.
Donald Trump signed a bunch of executive orders. One of them seeks to end birthright citizenship. If you were born in America, the 14th Amendment says you are automatically a U.S. citizen. He wants it to be where if you were born in America, but your parents weren't U.S. citizens, you are not a citizen. I feel most of you probably don't care because you believe, and he claims, that this is just meant to combat illegal immigrants who are using this as some sort of a legal loophole to try and stay here, or at least to make sure that their children are citizens and can stay here. But I have a question for you. Is this retroactive? How far back does this go? If you are a U.S. citizen because you were born here, were your parents citizens when you were born? If they were citizens because they were born here, were their parents citizens when they were born?
I know I said I was going to interrupt it, but I'm going to interrupt it this one last time because I wanted to emphasize that he is not just talking to the Latinos. He's trying to sit here and basically, on the low, throw rocks, hide his hands in the glass house. Because he's trying to make it seem like, were your parents citizens? And if that was the case, were their people citizens? He's talking directly to us. There's only one group of people who was not citizens throughout the inception of America, even though we were the foundation of America. And then the little bit of Latinos that was here during the 1900s or whatever, because the ones that was here during the time of slavery who were classified as Native Americans, those same Native Americans that was paid by the American government to go around being headhunters for Black Americans who escaped slavery. Oh yeah. Who also had their own slaves. If you don't know about that, then look up the 5 civilized tribes. We're the only people that ties back that far. And we wasn't made citizens until the 14th Amendment. And then some say even after that, because the Dred Scott case says otherwise, which was never overturned. But a person who understands the 14th Amendment and how law works, the 14th Amendment, because it was a higher class law, overruled the Dred Scott case, which is state law. I just wanted to throw that in because he's damn sure acting like he's talking to the Latinos. But the things that he's saying can only be classified with one people, one group, one lineage, and that's the foundational Black Americans, aka American freedmen.
How far back does it go? Are you going to lose your U.S. citizenship? Now, the ACLU has already filed a lawsuit to try and stop this, but if you're a Latino in America who supports and likes Donald Trump, when you see this, does this make you feel like he cares about you? How about this? Many of you, your first language was Spanish, or still is Spanish, or at the very least, it is the language of your parents or your grandparents. As a result, many things in America are offered in Spanish as well. That is certainly true of many government websites. I want you to go to Google and I want you to type whitehouse.gov Spanish, and it'll pull up this link, which will take you to a version of the White House website that is completely in Spanish, and I want you to click on it, because this morning that page looks like this. It no longer exists, and the Trump administration has confirmed that they took it down. The only option is to click a button that takes you back to the home page, which is in English. You should consider that they never cared about you. All they cared about was your vote. And now that they have it, they're happy to get rid of you. That button that takes you back to the home page, it could just say home page. Instead, it says go home. And I think they're sending you a very clear message when they did that.
And I applaud it. That is A1 trolling. I don't know who did it. Was it Tom Homan? Was it Trump? I don't know. And I don't care. But that is some A1 trolling, and I applaud it. Period, point and blank. Now, I want to clarify some things because, as I stated, it does not remove the 14th Amendment. And we have Representative Gothman, who came out and addressed this same situation. So we're going to go there and let him get his speak on.
I want to point out that in the 14th Amendment, it does not say all persons born in the United States become citizens of the United States. It's all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. That amendment was passed coming out of the Civil War. There's a reason it was passed coming out of the Civil War. Congress was afraid that the Democrats would try to undermine the results of that war by forbidding former slaves from voting. And clearly that's what the amendment was supposed to deal with. It did not include anybody who just happened to show up here and have a baby and moved on. Any congressman at that time, as can be seen from the debate on the floor at that time, no congressman felt that resulted in what we are now referring to as birthright citizenship. It was supposed to be limited to slaves. You were only subject to the jurisdiction thereof if you were a former slave. A person who came here from France and was just passing through, their child would not become a citizen. That should be obvious.
So because we're delineating family, guess what? They're also pushing our delineation. They wouldn't be caught dead out here saying any of this stuff if we wasn't saying this stuff prior. They wouldn't be out here dead, getting caught dead, saying anything that the Republicans have been saying this whole election cycle if we wasn't out there pushing all of the narratives, if we wasn't out there letting people know that hell no, this ain't something that we respect, we're not going to put our power behind, this ain't got nothing to do with us, y'all go deal with the people that y'all sitting here trying to represent. They wouldn't be sitting here saying none of this if we did not say all of this. Make sure you understand that, family. Make sure you understand how we've been pushing the needle. And because we pushed the needle so much, now even the racist white, because we have the racist left, the racist white is mimicking what we say and what we do. All the way down to the delineation family. And I got a video coming out of the members only area that speaks about the white delineation movement that's now trying to stem into existence. But because of all of this, we're standing on our square. And by us standing on our square, everyone else around us is pushing the same delineation that we're standing on. Now, we're going to get into this Roland Martin situation because the fear tactics aren't working. And we're still standing on business. Those your next people, you better look out because they're coming after you next. Woogie boogie. Woogie boogie. It wasn't successful. And our folks are coming out standing on business. So let's get into this scenario here. This is a clip from the Roland Martin. And they were out here trying to push the your next situation.
Between the ways that the laws are applied to the immigrant community and the black community. I think the name that all of your viewers should look up is Peter Sean Brown. This is a black man born in Pennsylvania, living in Florida, who himself was found in ICE custody. Why? Because of perception. Why? Because of the way that he looked. We have to understand that these laws are not going to be applied with any sort of logic. They are trying to dismantle a system that was already broken. Mr. Brown was in detention for...
Mind you, the man that they picked up was a Jamaican immigrant. You can go ahead and look him up. But I digress.
Be applied with any sort of logic. They are trying to dismantle a system that was already broken. Mr. Brown was in detention for weeks being deported to Jamaica, a country he had only seen on a cruise.
You know, I love the fact that they keep on saying that the system was already broken. Every time you hear a Democrat speak about the immigration system and all this other stuff, they always say the system is broken. What that does is it basically gets you into the mind frame. It conditions you to believe that, well, there's nothing that can be done about this system. But it wasn't broken while Trump was in office, was it? No. And that's why Biden had to come in and remove all of the policies that Trump put into office in his first term in order for the system to be broken again. And then they complained about this broken system that they broke themselves for 4 years, and then try to run on fixing a problem that they created themselves, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, my nieces and nephews. This was an act of Biden, but they wanted to convince you that fixing that act of Biden now hinders you when it didn't hinder you before in the first term of Donald Trump. You should be insulted. You should be insulted, not the people that listen to the new black media, because the people that listen to the new black media already knows that, god dang it, they full of so much shit that is coming out of their pores. It's coming out of their eyelids. But the people that don't listen to the new black media, you should be insulted because they think that you're so stupid that they can say anything within the realm of stupidity and you would believe it.
because of these same concepts that the Trump administration is now trying to push forward under these executive orders.
So you're saying, I just want to be clear. So you're saying that if an ICE officer goes, hey, Roland Martin looks like he ain't from here. That's where they carry your papers from.
Roland Martin, you're not from here. What are you talking about? Notice how he used himself as a case study. Well, so you're saying that if an ICE member sees me and say, oh, Roland Martin, you don't look like you're from here. Technically, he would be correct because you're not. You gained the same birthright citizenship that was just eliminated and should be upheld. Because you're a pure example of what a tether is. You came in here, you got a job, you got positioned to be on TV, you got positioned to be a man of the people and speak for the people, and what you did was speak for the white supremacists, and then you fought against the people at every single turn that you had. Then you get fired by the same people that you've been sitting there capping for. And you spend up to a decade trying to get back in their good graces with your so-called network that's black owned, but isn't black owned because all of your funding comes from white people outside of the black community. So miss me with your nonsense, Ron. Come on, Ro, come on. You got to be better than this. Them butter biscuits can't be this delicious. And I doubt that the Democratic Party has given him any more dollars. I believe he's trying to campaign for more dollars because that $350,000 or whatnot, he spent it all on pork ribs and surgery for a new neck. This man is necklace. He can't wear a necklace because he's neckless. He spent all of that money on big back foods and experimental surgery for a new neck. My God, let's continue.
They are setting it up where they can detain anyone for any reason. So this is gonna be going back to South Africa where they had the pass book where I'm gonna have to prove my citizenship, right?
Listen, we've seen it already. Our communities are over-policed. I lived in the Dominican Republic, one of the only other countries that has similar laws around birthright citizenship. And there, anyone who is perceived as Haitian is regularly dealing with police harassment and having to show their papers.
As they should. The Dominican Republic, I don't like a lot of the Dominicans that come over here and act the way that Cardi B acts. But I do have love for a lot of Dominicans because there are a lot of Dominicans that do understand their black culture, their black heritage. And they want to be a part of black people when they come over here. And they work hard so that you know that it's not just some sort of, I want to be around you for protection. These same people will be some of the people that'll let us know, these same people will be the same people that'll come around us and let us know that, hey, back in my home country, black people are treated like this, like this, like this, and like this. So don't let these people come over here and tell you that there's some sort of camaraderie with the whites and the black Dominicans, or the people who consider themselves white and the black Dominicans. I feel that same way about Puerto Rico. I have a lot of friends from Puerto Rico who actually appreciate black culture because they are actually black. One of my best friends I was speaking to the other day, and he was all pissed off about Fat Joe because he's from the Bronx too. But he's a black Puerto Rican. And he's like, I don't know what the hell this dude is talking about, but he better stop bringing Puerto Ricans into this nonsense. And I'm like, hey, man, that's your boy. And then, you know, we got into our little back and forth because we are bros. He started calling me all kind of motherfuckers because, excuse my French, because he don't want to be associated with that. And there's a lot of people that don't want to be associated with what Fat Joe is saying. There's a lot of people that don't want to be associated with what Roland Martin is saying. There's a lot of people that don't want to be associated with a lot of these tethers and what they're saying after they realize that, wait, that's not right. That's not right at all. But let's continue.
That is what Trump is trying to replicate in 2025. Make it make sense.
Yelly?
All right, so I want to get into our fam bam who ain't going for the nonsense, who's standing on lineage business. Let's get into it.
Bro, we not from Venezuela. I am an American. We are Americans, bro. We not from Venezuela. I am an American. Just like a white bitch. You ask that bitch, oh, where was you born? Oh, I was born in Pennsylvania. Oh, I was born in Illinois, bitch. Well, I'm not African. I'm not a foreigner, bitch. I'm probably more American than a white bitch. So I can't decide.
Family, I'm going to restart this, but I want to emphasize something. What he just said right there is a fact. When he said that I may be more American than a white bitch. Well, black Americans are more American than white people. That's just a fact. Because we're the only people to fight in this country to make America what it claimed to be in its inception. Let me say that again. We are the only people to fight to make America be what it claimed to be within its inception. So yes, we're more American than anyone who claims to be American. Not just white women, not just white men, not just anybody who comes here and becomes citizens. We are America. We are the people who made it possible for other people to be American.
Same argument can't be made, bro. I'm American as hell. It's not even close. A white motherfucker just hating in a bitch if racist. That's what they is. But I'm an American. I ain't no motherfucking foreigner, gang. And black people that's born here are Americans. Them Venezuelan motherfuckers is 25, 30, 17, 10, and 8. Them motherfuckers got here 6 months ago. Ain't the argument not the same, gang? It's not. We are Americans, bro.
The argument ain't the same. The argument is nowhere near the same. The argument for any black person born in America that was not a foundational black American, aka the descendant of a freeman, aka the descendant of an American slave, the arguments are not the same. Some people come here and they gain their citizenship by going to the army. They may gain their citizenship by working a certain job for a certain amount of years and applying for citizenship and maintaining that citizenship. But coming over here, crossing a border, and dropping off a baby should never, ever, ever be a situation to where people should just be okay with them becoming a citizen. Especially when you have people like Joe Biden who opens the borders every so often. Really, I can't even say that. Let me be very clear on this, because the Democrats started opening the border with Joe Biden. Because before Joe Biden, I've done a program on this too. Before Joe Biden, Barack Obama was deporter in chief. He had kids in cages at the border. And before that, you had Bill Clinton, who was sitting here saying the same thing that Obama was saying. Hillary Clinton saying the same thing that Obama was saying. So this should show you that this is a emergency tactic that the Democrats have used for 60 years, because after they signed the Civil Rights Bill of 1964, what ended up happening? You got the Immigration Bill, the Immigration and Nationality Bill of 1965, where they started bringing in all these other people under the Democrats. Come on, folks, tell me if I'm lying. If I'm lying, I'm frying. Oh yeah, this is definitely a longer program today, family, because we gotta talk about these things, because if we don't talk about them, the Democrats will continue to run around and try to use our plight in America to benefit everyone else who's not from America. And I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican. I say this several times, over and over and over, because they will try to come and make you look like you're a Republican shield because you're literally speaking up for your own damn interests. But they won't tell people that Republicans don't support reparations. We support reparations. Republicans don't support an anti-black hate crime bill. We support an anti-black hate crime bill. Republicans don't support a transformative black agenda. We support a transformative black agenda. Period. Point in black. So shout out to the folks who's standing on business about this. Let's get over to this sister here who's also standing on business for all the people who are running around those your next people. Don't call us people. You get what you voted for, people.
So let me get this straight. Y'all gonna let Trump get all the credit for why we minding our business instead of realizing we had no allies in the first place? And y'all really want to say Kamala this. Y'all mad because Kamala not in office and not realizing you're going to do better under Trump. Okay, so he's going to keep it to just two genders. Wasn't we mad that the trans was playing in women's sports? Okay, and guess what happens when immigrants come in here and do the jobs that they say we don't want to do? No, my people have never not wanted to do a job. We fought for fair wages. And when they didn't want to pay us fair wages, they paid the immigrant. So guess what happens when all they leave and they say, well, the napkins don't want to do that job. We will. You just going to have to pay us. So you're going to do better. When you try and add everybody to the cookout and everybody to the party, guess what happens? Your mission gets diluted. Your purpose gets misconstrued. So get all these opinions out, and yes.
Let me just say this real quick. I'm going to let her finish. We're going to rewind that. But she just made a point that I wanted to touch on that's very important. I tell people this all the time. There is no cookout. The cookout's gone. Because when we have a cookout and we invite all these people, guess what happens? They eat all the food. If we're having family dinners, guess who the food is eaten by? When you want to have a cookout, You usually invite all your family and friends and things like that. A lot of the time your friends aren't family, but they're friends. They're close enough to be family. So they're able to eat, and you have no problem with them eating the food that you prepared and that you paid for, because of the fact that you love them and they love you, and they've shown that they love you. You've shown that you love them. And then there's the other side, where you invite people to a cookout, and those people invite other people, and so you got about 40-50 people at the cookout who you don't know. You've never feasted your eyes upon. They have never shaken your hand and said, "Hi, my name is whatever." But yet you have those 40-50 people within the cookout eating all your food. So the people at the cookout don't even get a chance to get a plate. And those are your family members, your aunties, your uncles, your cousins, your grandparents, your grandmother, your children, your nephews, your nieces. None of them get a chance to eat because of one person who brought in all these other people. And they ate all the food you prepared. And it's very important for me to make that analogy, because that's what this is all about when it comes to making sure we have economic interest in this country, economic equity in this country, because we fought for it. We built this country. We are this country, and without us, this country does not exist. Not just on the concept of America, but overall. Let's get back into it.
We will. You just gonna have to pay us. So you're gonna do better. When you try and add everybody to the cookout and everybody to the party, guess what happens? Your mission gets diluted. Your purpose gets misconstrued. So get all these opinions out, and yes, we will do better. Because y'all need to know that nobody likes you. And y'all need to know that you could be successful on your own. And you need to know that you should be self-sufficient. And you need to know that nobody's gonna save you but your people. And y'all are so sad about an infiltrator that's not even black, that's Indian, from Jamaica, that was not going to do nothing for me, my people, us, nothing. Let it go. Yeah, we minding our business since y'all voted for him, and you going to do better under him.
Family, tell me when she told a lie. Tell me when she told a lie. Shout out to our sister, our queen, one of our mother goddesses, who's going to pass that down. And that's what we should be doing. We should be implementing situations that we're protecting our interest, showing that we're protecting our interest, and we have no problem passing down that interest. Instead, you have all these other people trying to fearmonger you into being a person that's about black interest, the interest of you, the interest of your children, the interest of your children's children. They want you to be about everyone else but you, while you got now Donald Trump in office, and he's showing that he's in the interest of his own constituents. And a lot of people are running around talking about, well, that's y'all fault because y'all didn't vote for Kamala. No, that's Kamala's fault because she didn't show she had the interests of black Americans at heart. No matter what she did, no matter what y'all thought you saw, she already told you what she would do for black Americans, which is nothing. No! I'm not going to do something just for Black Americans. No. And Black Americans didn't do just nothing for her. Not just that, Black Americans didn't do just nothing for the Democratic Party. And that's why it was a clean sweep across all of the governmental situations. But I'm saying this for the people within the Magite party. Yeah, I'm pointing at you, Magites, as well. Because all the Negroes within the Magite party, oh, he definitely took care of all the Magites outside of the Black Magites. But you think that you got a friend. You running around here singing some Toy Story stuff talking about you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. And the first thing Trump did was this.
After a marathon day of inaugural festivities celebrating his return to the Oval Office, President Trump behind the resolute desk signing dozens of executive actions, starting with perhaps the most controversial.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500. Full pardon. What they've done to these people is outrageous.
Pardoning nearly all January 6th defendants, effectively ending the largest investigation in federal law enforcement history. On January 6th, more than 140 officers were injured and Capitol property destroyed. The president had teased his plans to pardon at least some of the defendants, including earlier at the inaugural parade after greeting relatives of Israelis and Americans taken hostage by Hamas.
I'm going to be signing on the J6 hostages pardons.
But it had not been clear that the action would include those convicted of violent offenses, including assaulting police, which some Republicans had argued against.
If you committed violence on that day, obviously you shouldn't be pardoned.
Trump also commuting the sentences of individuals associated with far-right groups, the Oath Keepers and Proud Boys, including its leader Enrique Tarrio, who had been serving 22 years in federal prison for seditious conspiracy. Supporters for those pardons celebrating overnight. President Trump also responding to the day's other pardon announcements. In the last hours of his presidency, Joe Biden preemptively pardoning the members of the committee that investigated January 6th, including former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, along with Dr. Anthony Fauci and General Mark Milley. None has been convicted of any crime. Biden also later pardoning members of his own family.
I was a little bit surprised that he did it, because it makes him look guilty.
Trump also signing a barrage of executive orders, including declaring a national emergency at the U.S.-Mexico border and attempting to end birthright citizenship in some circumstances, a right that's guaranteed by the Constitution.
Good. That's a good one.
The inauguration day had started with unity between Trump and Biden, before Trump took his oath inside the Capitol due to frigid temperatures.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
In his inaugural address, Trump delivering this searing critique of his predecessor without ever mentioning him by name.
My recent election is a mandate to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal. From this moment on, America's decline is over.
The traditional parade also moved inside, the president celebrating in front of a massive crowd of MAGA faithful in downtown D.C.
You're witnessing the dawn of the golden age.
The traditional
Yes, family. So one of the first things that he did, the absolutely first thing that he signed was immunity for a bunch of people who participated within January 6th. I'm not even that mad, to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you why I'm not that mad, though. Because a lot of people probably won't understand it when I say I'm not that mad. It's not because of Joe Biden pardoning anybody and everybody in his family. It's not about Joe Biden pardoning Anthony Fauci, even though I hate that to the core because my pages was shut down for only spreading information that was given to me by the CDC. I'm not even mad about that. Not at all. The reason why I'm not mad is because Donald J. Trump just showed every party, doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican, the Green Party, the Tea Party, well, the Tea Party's Republican, but you know, the Green Party and any other party, independent party, whatever, what you should be doing for your constituents. So when the Democrats are running around here talking about they can't do something for us, it's unfeasible, it's divisive, it's whatever, guess what? This man just did some divisive stuff. He did some unfeasible stuff, and he just did it with a smile on his face. So don't talk to us about what can and can't be done. You are the problem within these Americas. You are the issue within the black community. You are the person that's trying to stop black growth. Period. Point black. To the point where Elon Musk can run around here giving a Nazi salute. And trust me, we're going to speak about this. We're going to speak about this. Trust me. Just keep this on the calendar. Just pin it up there, because trust me, I have something big coming for this. It gave me and sparked the light within my brain to say, hey, you should do this. And that's what I'm going to do. So just hold off just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. We're going to circle back around. But this is to all the people who think going red was such a good thing. This man is literally giving a Nazi salute. And from what I hear, because I didn't see this, but from what I hear, and I have very reliable sources in the matter, he did it twice. To the point where people online started comparing him to people within that movement.
My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you. Thank you. My heart goes out to you.
So not only did he do it once, and that was the video, he did it once to the front, he did it once to the back. Can't nobody say that this is a autistic tick. Because he's autistic, he don't understand what he's doing. I have 2 autistic nephews, and neither one of them understands, excuse me, let me rephrase that. Neither one of them go around just tossing up Nazi hand symbols. I've yet to see that. I've yet to have one of their schools call up and say, hey, you need to come pick up your nephew because he out here throwing up these hand symbols that were, you know, linked to fascism. I've yet to see it. The same way they get labeled with the mental issues, the mental health issues. But nobody comes around with the mental health issues when it's a black person that does something. Even when it is on documented record of them being a person with mental health issues, bipolarism, schizophrenia, any of that. None of those things matter. But for Elon Musk, that matters. The ADL has even come out trying to protect him. Ben Carson has even come out trying to protect him. And I didn't include those posts yet because, like I said, I have something coming for that situation. Pause. But the same Ben Carson who run around speaking about black people derogatorily, speaking about black people in a way that is not just disrespectful, but is stereotypical. He comes out talking about people are stupid for saying that, you know, Elon Musk is tossing the signal of a fascist. So all the people that are showing their anti-black racism when they're coming out, and when I say all of the people, I'm talking about all of these people coming out who are a part of the Top Hat community trying to protect Elon Musk, are showing their anti-black racism, because when you ain't seen this when it comes from a white person at all. You don't see anything that they do when it comes down to a black. Kyrie Irving, Kanye West, any black person that speaks about Michael Jackson. Come on, people. And you got Mel Gibson who ran around here talking the same nonsense that Kanye was talking. I don't even want to say nonsense. The same stuff that Kanye was talking. And he was not blackballed from Hollywood. He ended up doing a movie called Daddy's Home. Right after. So yeah, no. We're not delineating when it comes to the system of white supremacy, because you can't. We can delineate in America because of the fact that there was an ethnogenesis with the slaves that was brought here. There was an ethnogenesis of the people that was taken as slaves who were actually Native America. There was an ethnogenesis because of the white people who raped both of those groups over the span of 400 to 500 years. You also have people getting on ramen noodle. We're going to get to that in a hot second. I just want you to know that is going on as well. But the cruise line workers of a certain cruise line, I don't know which one it is yet. Once I know, I will post it on Twitter. So follow me on Twitter, the Church of Black Power, or the Church of B1. But this is what Trump opened the door for, because he put Elon on. And what Elon opened the door for, while all these people are running around trying to protect Elon and say that it isn't true and all this other stuff, the ADL came out and said that, hey, you know, this is a sensitive situation, and you know, this is Elon has a situation with him where he's on the spectrum and it isn't what you think it is, and all this other stuff. Even though Kanye had the same situation where he's on the spectrum because he is bipolar and all this other stuff, and that didn't matter. They still went after him. They still went after Kyrie Irving, even though Kyrie Irving did not put no money, did not put anything into that documentary that he promoted. When he promoted the documentary, all of a sudden he had to put money into the Jewish community. All of a sudden he had to put money into... All right, I digress. Let's go.
I don't know what happened. housekeeping. Woo!
And family, you do hear what you think you hear. You hear people in the background, whether it's singular, plural, or a triplicate. You have about 2 or 3 of them people over there screaming woo and clapping hands, including the woman who is actually recording this. And some of the Democratic shills would be like, you know what? Because y'all didn't vote for Kamala, this is what you get. This is what you get. Gotta get. This was going on during the time of Biden. Not this particular situation, but there were people walking around in the KKK uniforms during the time of Biden. Biden nor the Democrats, neither one of them, put together an anti-black hate crime bill to stop that. Congress should have did it, because on a federal level, even if Biden did do it, it wouldn't even touch people on the state and local level. But if you have people in Congress putting together this bill, then it would have affected everybody on the state, local, and federal level. Now tell me when I'm telling lies. Tell me when I'm telling lies. So you got all these people that's coming out trying to intensify. And I don't know if it's even people from the Democratic Party. It could be people from the Democratic Party trying to make people more antagonistic against people from the Republican Party. I don't know. It could be. I don't want to put on no tinfoil hat. But what I'm saying is, this has been going on regardless of who's been in office. Since 1960, this has been going on. I was going to say since the 60s. But when I said 6, it was because of the fact I was sitting here counting the people on the damn screen. You got 5 on one side, you got 1 on the other, and it distracted me. My bad, family. But understand what I'm saying. Our people, we're not too much worried about it. Just like we're not too much worried about Admiral Fudi, or Fudel, however you say his name, who comes around saying, cried harder, ho. We are back and we will make racism, misogyny, and bigotry great again. Shout out to Sir GBS, excuse me. Because he comes in and he says, we, question mark, admiring gains. You're going to learn the hard way about thinking you're an honorary white supremacist. Just like Vivek Ramaswamy got his wake-up call. Yours is right around the corner. Silly little Sudanese parasite mascot. And what is he talking about, Sir GBS? Sir GBS is talking about Vivek, who was supposed to be a part of the same department, Doge, that Elon Musk was just giving a platform, or excuse me, given a position, not platform, a position in. He was supposed to have that same position. They're supposed to be co-running that position. Indulge. Well, family, that isn't the case. Because it would appear that Vivek is the Doge's first firing. Let's get into this article. Just a little bit in here. We're not going to go all the way through it, but we're going to get a little bit in here. It says Vivek Ramaswamy has fallen out of favor with many Trump supporters in recent weeks over the controversial remarks criticizing Americans' culture and calling for more immigration. If you don't know what it's talking about, it was Ramen Noodle and Elon Musk run around here talking about how Americans are lazy and they need to bring in more HB1 visas, excuse me, because they are smarter than Americans, and we put a culture of celebrating Zach Morrison over Screech and Eddie Winslow over Stephen Urkel and all this other stuff. But if you notice, the true issue here is that Trump actually got rid of his first DEI. Because Vivek was a DEI hire just like Elon Musk was a DEI hire. But DEI is more about the black in you and I. So Musk was given an opportunity to throw Vivek Ramaswamy or Ramen Noodles under the bus, and that's what he did. And on Monday, he confirmed that he stepped away. He's stepping away, but stepped away from the Trump administration's semi-public Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Elon Musk's venture that aims to cut up to $2 trillion in federal spending. Now, the true fact of the matter is this. We're going to go here. And that's highlighted for a reason. Vivek Ramaswamy is departing the from DOGE amid frictions with staff, with the source close to Trump saying that Vivek has worn out his welcome. That Vivek has worn out his welcome. And a lot of these people don't understand when we're telling them you have a short lifespan where you are, but they don't want to listen. Soon enough, what you think that you're promoting to happen to us will happen to you. But they don't want to listen. Not at all. So, of course, this fly sister here, she's a Democratic shield. That's why you got, Michelle Obama in one section. You got Kamala Harris in one section.
Okay. So
they put Keke Palmer in one section. I don't even know if she's a shield, to be honest with you, because I don't watch a lot of things from Keke Palmer. But they make sure she made sure to laugh at and troll, which she should, Vivek Ramaswamy. Which everyone should, to be honest with you, because he is not American. And the nerve of him to think that he can come over here and speak about what black Americans, rather any American, deserve or should get. Excuse me, not rather, but let alone. Rather than coming over here and being humble and appreciative that we fought for him to be here, rather than being humble and appreciative that he was able to get into an office that a lot of people outside of America aren't able to get into. So yeah, absolutely, clown and troll this guy. Boo this man. But we're going to end off with this, family. We're going to end off with this. Trump made a statement within his inauguration that needs to be addressed. Let's go.
Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor, but in his honor, we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true. Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor, but in his honor, we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true. Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor, but in his honor, we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true.
Now, family, the reason why I allowed that to play 3 times over is because if you remember, Joe Biden said the same thing. Minus the whole the Martin Luther King situation. But he said, Black Americans, you have my back and I will have your back, I promise you, this, that, and the third. So with Trump running around here talking about Black Americans, we're going to make Martin Luther King's dream come true. There's only one way that you can realize Martin Luther King's dream, and that's by paying reparations. That's by paying what's owed to the descendants of the American slaves. That's by making sure that you do right by the foundation of America. Period. Point. In black. And don't think we won't hold you to what you said. And with that being said, family and friends, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please make sure you click that link in the description, go to change.org, and put your signature on the petition for reparations. Family, it's been a festive week. It definitely has. But the real work starts today. Put your back brace on. Get your power tools ready. It's time to go to work. And with that being said, family, the doors of the church now closed. Peace, family.